Well, hey folks, Lester here, and happy Tuesday. I would like to show you guys what I worked on this morning, and then a special thank you to those folks who are going to pay so close attention that whenever Jeff comes into town in a couple of weeks, and he's actually running this place for me, you guys can help remind him and peep at him, look over his shoulder, scream, holler, and yell that he does everything right. So I'll walk you through right now and show you what I got going. And then if you don't mind, just please make sure you give Jeff, that would be Jersey Jeff, just give him hell if he breaks routine. You guys know I'm a stickler for routine, and I'm going to walk through here and show you all what we're going to do during the week that Jeff is in fact running the JL Ranch. Hey folks, Lester here.
You can't be in there! Jake, you can't be in there!
This is super bad. Get it!
Mother! Get away from her!
This is not very Longhorn Lester.
Shoo! Get on out of here! Shoo!
No sir.
Mother!
No sir.
Fire! Jamie!
Yeah, we're gonna call him shithead now.
My intentions are pure. Just pound it out. Just pound it out. Just pound it. Okay, so first things first. I've been talking about this for a while, and this morning I went ahead and done it. I took the water troughs out of this area. I took the tractor and tried to smooth some of the area out. And so this shelter over here, which I forgot what we named this place. It was a cute name you guys had given it. The nursing home. Yeah, this is the nursing home. This is the nursing home. I think we call this the nursing home. I got the ground all smoothed out best that I could. And so this is going to be nothing more than just a very large shelter to get out of the elements. So there'll be no watering over here whatsoever. So Jeff will not have to come over here to do any watering. This will just be a place the cows can come. I will put hay out. Now, as of right now, we have a roll, and we have another roll, and we have a third place for a roll. I will make sure that before I leave on that Sunday, when Jeff gets here, I'll make sure that all three of my rolls of hay are setting out, and Mr. Jeff will not have to mess with the hay at all. Not here in the cow pasture. Now, you're probably looking around, and it'd be kind of a fun quiz. Does anyone notice that something is missing? How many of you are keen enough to realize that there's something missing? Yes, guys, I hate that it's come to this, but we have to do it. I'd been told way back when I first got my feed buggies that the general rule of thumb is on a day and then off a day. On a day and then off a day for your feed buggies. So what I've done is I've taken the tractor and I pulled both of the feed buggies off of this pasture. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But for those who are very observant and noticing, yes, there's no feed buggies here right now. And that's why, look, when you see your cows just laying around all day, that's not a good sign. Cows need to be up and moving. And guys, there's still green pasture out there. There's ryegrass seed popping up. There's plenty to graze on. And we cannot continue to spend as much money as we do every month on feed buggies for our cows to just sit there and sleep all day. And so they need to be up grazing. And so I will talk to Jersey Jeff about making sure that he brings the feed buggies off, drops them off for a day, and then the next day he'll come out and take those feed buggies off the pasture. I'll walk around real fast and show you where I have them. It's very easy to do. You can use your truck or your tractor, and I will be giving Jersey Jeff access to the farm truck that week. Please do not let him drive my big truck. Jersey Jeff does not. No one drives my big truck, okay? Jersey Jeff can drive the old truck. I trust him in the 2018. I don't trust him in my newer truck, though. But this is where I parked both of the feed buggies. And it'll be a real easy in and out, back them up. And that's just a really easy job to do. He'll have to wait until the cows are off and away from the gate. If he doesn't, they're going to chase him right through. So he'll have to wait until the cows are off, and then he can do all of the moving of the feed buggies, okay? And they hook up very easy to the back of the truck or the tractor, but the truck will be easier, being as I have my bush hog to the tractor. All right, let's talk about my water troughs right quick. This morning I come out and scrubbed all of my water, and I moved the troughs over to here. I want to show you how this is going to work. This is something new that Jeff will not be familiar with. So there's not really too many cows that I worry about in this pasture that could end up hurting Jeff. He's a big guy, and he knows his way around cows. But just in case, I still put the water troughs right here along this fence. The fence that goes into my hay barn. Now there is a gate that goes into there that Jeff can access if he needs to. He'll have to make sure he closes it behind him. And then he has the water hose here. He can walk along without ever going into the pasture if he needs to and fill up all of the waters. Guys, this time of year, and especially because I have the water covered, you do not have to change the water out more than once a week. It doesn't turn green. It's not getting all that slimy stuff. We keep it filled. And in case you're wondering why I don't have automatic water filters on here, I bet most of you guys know exactly why. We have learned that the longhorn just find it to be kind of a game to come by and take those horns and knock those automatic water filters right to the ground. How many times have we pulled up and walked to find out we have water running all the way down the hill to the dry creek? And our water bill here is just something else. And it's always, well, it's never my fault. Okay, sometimes it's my fault, but sometimes it's the cow's fault. So what we've learned is we'll turn on the water here. The hose will stretch all the way down. This is where the hose turns on and off. Now, I do keep two water troughs over here. One is for my kitty cats. That's for my kitty cat water. And this over here is for our calves. The calves, as you guys know, have a doggy door. They can come in and out right here. And we do not mind if my little calves come inside. I don't mind if they come in here to lay around, get out of the weather, nibble on the green hay. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I love giving them a place to come to get away from their moms and have a little bit of independence. And so we'll have to keep this gate here closed and latched so the big cows don't come through. But those calves absolutely can if they choose to. It's a really cute thing to watch. And I'm sure Jeff will get tons of pictures and videos of them in here. Now, I do have a feed trough that I keep some sweet feed and a little bit of cube in there. The calves will come by and nibble on stuff. I'll even toss in a couple of pieces of muffins, which is always cute because I can never find the muffins, which means when they come by, they're eating those muffins out of there. Alrighty? So this is, in fact, how this part of the pasture is going to look. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I will actually meet Jeff on Sunday when he flies into town. I'll pick him up, drive him over, and then I'm going to show him all of these things. But listen, he's going to forget. Guys, as much as I love the guy, he's just kind of a big galoot. I think you all would agree he's just a big old soft teddy bear galoot of a man, okay? And that makes him endearing. We all love a big galoot, don't we? Ladies, we all love a big galoot. And I believe Jeff would call himself a knucklehead, but I would never put the man down like that. Never. I'll just call him a big galoot. All right, let's go ahead and make our way up to the other pastures. Oh, let's not forget our chickens, guys. Do not let Jeff forget our chickens. This over here is our chicken area. You all know about that. You know about the alarm. You know about the solar light. We got to put all those things up at night to keep our chickens safe. Now, that's kind of a ragtag of an operation right there. But just understand, I do that to keep the cold wind from blowing on them. And then, of course, all of the feeds that Jeff will need for this area will be right in here. The chicken scratch, the cubes, the sweet feed, all of those things will be right here in this tool room. Alrighty? Okay. So, since we have the calves who are able to come inside the barn, we're going to have to keep this gate over here closed and latched. If the calves do, for some reason, come through, guys, we're not going to panic and freak out because they're not going to go too far away from mom. So please, just for the record, if you see Jersey Jeff out in the hot tub making a video or hanging around having fun, and you see calves running around, Jersey Jeff, don't panic. The calves will go back inside as long as you have that gate there back open. If you forget that gate, it's not the end of the world. The little calves will go back inside. Alrighty? I'm going to go close this gate right now, though. Alright, quick quiz. What is the rule for the feed buggies? What is the pattern for our feed buggies? Yes, a day on, a day off. So, for example, if when Jeff comes over on Sunday, if I walk him along and I show him how to move the feed buggies off, that means that all day Monday, there'll be no feed buggies. But on Tuesday, Jeff will put them back out. They'll stay out all day Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Jeff will move them back off. They'll be out all day Wednesday. And then on Thursday, Jeff can put them back out. So on a day and off a day. On a day and off a day. And this is how the gate locks the proper way. So the latch goes into the groove and then it goes back in the hole. Alrighty? Make sure you guys don't let Jeff do that backwards. There's a reason for that. Please don't make me demonstrate. Okay, fine, I'll demonstrate. All right, so if a cow or a horse sees dangling things like right in its face, some species of animals just cannot help but put it in their mouth. And then, if that happens, if they can end up popping it out of the groove, then guess what? A simple push, and our gate's wide open. So you have to do it the proper way. If in fact you go into the groove first, and then you go through the hole, they can still see the little dangly, and they may still feel a temptation to put that dangling thing into their mouth. But look, it doesn't matter, because they cannot push it backwards through the hole. It seems complicated, but it's actually not as hard as it seems. And do not worry about me getting sick. Just because cows have put their mouths on chains, and so have I, guys, you develop an intolerance, or a tolerance. You at some point get yourself into, your body can handle stuff like that when you've been around it your whole life. We have to remember to water my plants. Potted plants, I like to water every day. Now, you don't gotta put a lot of water to them, but I do believe that potted plants should be watered every day. They get plenty of sunlight here, and friends, don't worry about them getting too cold. I've checked our temperatures. We're not gonna be below 40 any of those days, and our highs will not get out of the 60s. So our potted plants are fine, but I like to run a little bit of water into them every day. Just come down through here, and I like to water them until I see water coming out the bottom. When I see water come out the bottom, I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. So you're looking at about 10 or 15 seconds for each plant. There we go. I do the same thing to all of them. Now, I am not a plant person, and there could be a lot of you guys saying I'm doing it wrong, and maybe I am. But it's been 2 weeks, and my plants are still alive. So if Jeff can do what I do over here, about 15 seconds or so on each plant, and like I said, I like to do it until I see water coming out the bottom. Once I see water coming out the bottom, then I know that the dirt, the soil, is saturated, and we should be good, okay? And I'll go all the way down and do that to all of my plants. If you see Jeff get into the hot tub, which is completely fine, let him know that this is how you turn the bubbles on. But look, there's a lock, so kids can't play with it. You have to touch the unlock button. Now it's unlocked, and now we got jets. Now there's bubbles. We do not leave the jets running though, okay? We leave the heater on. We leave the heater on, we leave the filter on to keep it nice and warm. And please, guys, please ask Jeff politely not to pee in the water. Could you please just ask Jeff, as nice as you can, to try to break habit and do not pee in the hot tub. I will drain that water and have it nice and clean before he gets here. And I'll sanitize it, and it'll be wonderful for an entire week while he's here. And I hope that he, and if he brings Mary, I hope that they will enjoy the hot tub. But you should also remind Jeff that if he does bring Mary, or if he's by himself in the hot tub, he might want to be aware of something. That this camera right here records everything. And I made special sure that I have one focused right there on the hot tub area. All right, I'm gonna take this same water hose and go over to water the neighbor's horses. That has to be done every day. All right, while that water trough is filling up, it's a small water trough, and they will drink through that in 1 day's time. So every morning I fill that back up. Before I leave, I will drop a fresh roll of hay over the fence, and so he will not have to deal with any moving the hay. I don't think he'll have to move hay for anybody. I will put out fresh hay for everybody on that Sunday before I leave. And as of right now, no one's going through that much hay per week. So I do believe we'll be fine on hay. But there'll be a roll of hay. We'll fill up their water daily. And we also toss over a couple of flakes of green hay in the morning. This is where I'm keeping the ostrich food. Here's the bucket. Here's where I keep the kitty food. That's the dry kitty food. That's where they eat. And here's my dog food. And yes, I will have the dogs here. At least 3 of my dogs will be here. So Jeff will have to babysit the girls while he's here, okay? I always keep these for a little dog snack, just one a day, just to give them a little snack. And so I normally keep those in this compartment right over here. I'll make sure that it's stocked up and that when Jeff is here, there's all of his treats that he needs right there. There's extra muffins and horse treats and all the things that he may need for Chucky Poo will all be right inside there, okay? The weather's going to be nice, so there won't be a need to close the basement. But if Jeff feels a little awkward having the basement open, then he can close it. The cats can find their way in and out. Even with this basement door swinging, our cats are clever enough to find themselves in and out. They can do that. We've watched them do it. Okay? I just leave it open for now, though. Weather's been so nice, there's no need to close it. Now, I am certain that by the time Jeff comes, this building will be already finished. So there's not really a reason to go in there. Jeff's more than welcome to look around and show you guys around if he wants to. And that's wonderful. But we will be gone in the RV. I'll have my big tractor parked in there along with my side-by-side and my lawnmower. Jeff will be using the side-by-side, I'm certain of it. And then, so that will be all done. All this will be cleaned up by then, okay? When he comes out here to the pasture, he will not have to worry about anything. Guys, I will make sure that before I leave, this pasture is completely set up. He will have no need to come in here, but we're not gonna have anybody in this pasture for my peace of mind. So what I will do before I leave is simply come by and put me a padlock. I'll just simply padlock my chain, and there'll be no reason for anyone to be inside this pasture. For the ostrich food, we pour it in their containers. I have one over here on the front of the fence, and I fill it up, and they come by throughout the day and nibble. I also keep a couple on the far side. I'll show you those here. Just give me a minute or so. Hey, beautiful. Before Jeff comes, I will make sure we have a fresh roll of hay in the ballroom. And so we won't need Jeff to go in this pasture for anything. They have their feed buggy. They'll have their roll of hay. I will clean and completely fill the Blue Lagoon. And I'll also have this water trough over here. And the cows will not go through that in a week's time. So Mr. Jeff will not need to go into this pasture for any reason. Alrighty? So he can love Chucky through the fence. I do want to show you real fast, though, that there is a couple of other ostrich food troughs hanging on the fence over here. I'm going to just zoom into them without having to walk all the way over. There's two more right there. There's Carl down getting ready for prayer meeting with the pastor. If you see the cats following Jeff around, not to worry. They're just making sure that Jeff does things right. These cats know the routine, and they're going to make sure that while I'm gone, they are in charge. Jeff is just the guy with thumbs, okay? Jeff is just here because he has thumbs. Every morning, Jeff will have to take enough flakes of green hay to come out and throw to the horses and donkey. That would be 9. We also throw to all 5 of our cows or our bulls. That'd be 5 more. Then we take 2 and we tear them in half and toss over for our birds. Over the course of the week, the pastures will get sloppy. We rake the pasture on Friday. Today's only Tuesday. I wanted to have it nice and cleaned up before the family meet and greet. But you can tell from Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, Monday, in only 4 days, it has already got pretty sloppy. So if Jeff wants to come out with the rake, he can. I will show him how to hook it up. I'm sure he's seen it done before, the harrow, and he can drive it around. The only thing Jeff will have to be aware of is that Gemma, maybe even Rita, will want to chase him. And what we do not want is for Rita or Gemma to get their feet caught up in that harrow and break a leg. We don't want our horses injured. So, Mr. Jeff, here's what I would advise you to do. Here's a suggestion, okay? And I'm sorry I have to say this. I trust myself more than I trust anybody else. And I think most of us do. So I will rake the pastures with the horses out and about. Even if they're chasing me, I am so vigilant to make sure they get anywhere near me. I will stop. I will stop on a dime before I let those horses' feet get caught up into that harrow. But what you might want to do to be safe is when you bring the horses inside to eat, go ahead and take that opportunity once they're inside their stalls to come by with that rake. You can do it daily if you want to. It's a really fun chore. It's a lot of fun to do. And all we do is just drive by and just run over this poop, and we help it, decompose itself and break down right back into our soil. It makes our pastures look a whole lot nicer, and you only have to do it in high traffic areas. They don't poop this much down across the pastures, but mostly in the high traffic areas. All right, this next part is going to sound complicated, but you're going to have to follow this to the T. Friends, it doesn't really matter what order the horses come inside when Mr. Jeff is ready to feed. I like to put Roman and Rita into their stalls pretty fast. They normally come right on in and they go fairly easily. Usually Stormy will also come in and go to her stall or her room pretty easy. Talus, what you may have to do though at some point is allow Val. She's gonna be very timid and she may be last, and that's completely fine. Same over here. You may have to help Bucky's to his room because he's also a little bit timid. But it's not really important the order they go in. What's important is you have to remember the order they must come out. You have to do this. So this is probably the most important thing you're gonna hear from me all day. You must let Bucky's out first. I'll show you why. Well, he's blind in one eye. We already know that, and that makes him super, super skittish. Now, we always feed Ivy in her own little food bowl over here. Mr. Jeff, if you will feed her as far down this pathway as possible, give her enough to where she's not going to be finished eating until the other horses are done, okay? So give her enough feed in here, and I'm gonna show you why. Feed her as far away as you can get her to follow you. Drop it over here somewhere, let her eat. And now watch, here's the beauty of this. If Ivy is still eating and the other horses begin to finish, if you let Bucky's out, he will leave his stall, his room, and he will go out there and eat with her. And now you have one huge success in the fact that Bucky's is not going to get himself hurt, even worse. He's out of the stall completely, okay? Next, so Bucky's has to be the first horse released. The next two horses, you have to let Val, Val is number 2, and with Val, you let Gemma. So Val and Gemma will both come out and go right to the water trough. They'll drink together. They will not kick. They will not fight each other. So at this point, you have everyone staring at you. You have Bucky's out eating with Ivy. You have Val and Gemma, who are horses 2 and 3, at the water trough. Now, whenever you're ready, once these horses have had enough to drink, if they start hanging around, then it's okay. You over here, you let Stormy and you let Prim out. Stormy and Prim will move those horses on out. So the horses may drink their water and then just start kind of hanging around, which is what they like to do. I don't know why. But, so, Bucky's, Val, Gemma. Give Val and Gemma a few minutes to drink. Let them get a drink of water. They want to drink of water. Whenever you think they've had enough and they're starting to hang around, just kind of hang out, then you go to Stormy, 4, and Prim, which is going to be 5. Now, you might want to step out of the way, Mr. Jeff. Go ahead and close the doors behind them as you let them out. You can also come by and let Talus out. And now you have 6. Now you have 6 horses free. These 3 will go down towards the water trough. He may actually go down and move Bucky's off of Ivy's food. Here he is here. He may go down and move Bucky's off of Ivy's food trough, and that's fine. Finally, once everyone's been released, you can come by and let Rita and Roman out at the same time. I don't think that we'll have to medicate Roman at that point. I think he'll be all the way healed. Worst case scenario, you'll have to give him a little bit of a spray while he's eating, just on his wound. So that is a very, very important order. You have to remember that order when letting the horses out. Please make sure that the cats do not go into the feed room or the tack room. And if they do, you have to make sure that they're out of there. You don't want to close them inside those rooms. We have horse water over here that we change out every 2 days. So every other day, I'll have it clean for you on Sunday. So if you will empty it out on Tuesday, that would be wonderful. What you might want to do is wait until you have the horses in here eating and dump that out into the dirt if you can. There will be some that's going to come to the concrete. I'll just take the squeegee and squeegee it back out if you don't mind. Just push it right on out into the dirt. And then we have a second water trough that has to be filled up. These have to be filled up daily. That's over there in the Gladiator barn, right there underneath that barn. So we change those out every 2 days this time of year. The water troughs for the horses will always get dirtier than the cow water trough. And it's gonna look like a chocolatey flavor or a color because the horses go to the protein licks, then they go drink and it turns that water kind of a brown, weird color. It's not as dirty as it looks, but we still change it out every other day. Alrighty, guys, I think that's everything. Anything specific, I will talk to Mr. Jeff about it on Sunday when he's here. If you do end up needing to muck the stalls, we just keep our mucking barrel turned upside down. You can close these gates to keep the horses out of here while you muck. We normally will do that during the day when the horses are off grazing or hanging around. And I really cannot think of anything else that I need to let you know. But I can promise you one thing, the internet will. The internet will absolutely remind you of things that I forgot about. So this is the official video that Mr. Jeff can go back and reference if he needs to. And we are absolutely blessed to have him come down and sit at the ranch property for us, take care of our dogs and our cows, our horses, our cats, and our birds, and my chickens. We love him. We're blessed to have him. And I just hope he does not pee in my hot tub.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.